Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum, TIF, and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is private equity and cross-border M&A. We have with us Varun Vaish, partner at Luthra and Luthra Law Offices. So he's an expert in private equity, cross-border M&A, and infrastructure law, with an illustrious academic background spanning NALSAR University and Oxford University. Varun has carved a niche in advising on transformative deals and navigating complex regulatory landscapes. He has been featured in Forbes Legal India Power List. So this will be a very interesting conversation having with Varun now. He is in Switzerland and he will be sharing his leadership insights. He's part of his technology team and the human side of a dynamic lawyer redefining success in the modern legal arena. So welcome Varun to today's, I will say, international coffee episode.
Thank you so much, Amir, for having me. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to sit down and talk with you. I've been following your channel. I see a lot of the good work that you do, a lot of insight that you bring from the legal world, and I'm just happy to be a part of that.
One more correction I want to do. We have got around 8 series, so we don't focus only on lawyer.
Right.
So there are
Right.
entrepreneur, there is cybersec,
Right.
then working professional, Sri Shakti, startup,
Right.
student, now panel discussion, tech conversation, which will become a regular
Really starting.
series part. So yeah, lawyers, well, they can only legal world, but we have given justice to
You're quite
every,
diversified.
yeah, diverse field. Plus, we are giving opportunity to 3 years a professional also. So we
Right.
keeping mixed blend, and we have crossed
Right.
having conversation with over what do you say, 50 plus years industry leaders in this year.
Fantastic.
So
Amazing work that you're
balancing.
doing.
See, we want to give this platform to have memories
Right.
to each and everyone wherever that person is comfortable coming on camera and
Right.
sharing his
Sure.
story. Only
Sure.
requirement is कि भाई camera face करने के लिए ready हो. हम will make you
No,
comfortable
I'm
and
happy.
yeah.
Happy to do
So
so.
yeah, because we have come across certain speakers की जिसने सीधा बोल दिया कि I'm not camera friendly.
All right.
So they said कि give us some time. We'll
Yeah.
definitely come and do and be part of this. You're giving this opportunity. Let me work on my fears and all those things. We are helping those
Right.
person also offline. Okay, how
Right.
to come and all those things. So we value the coffee speakers. Now they become part of the coffee tribe.
Right.
So we call them now Coffee Tribe community members. So welcome. So friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host of Coffee Conversation and legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. We help law firms, corporate legal, startups, and SME companies with world-class technology and software licensing with technology training. So Varun, you must be aware of the 2 rounds, but there is a third round, which is a rapid fire fun round. So you have to
Fine.
be witty, funny, quick, and you'll get to win this adopt technology, which will help you with your
I'm
technology
looking
team.
forward to it. Yeah, let's go.
So this will be autographed and sent to your home address. So when you come back, this your Christmas gift will be there in at your place.
I look
Okay,
forward to it.
let's begin. So my first question: how has your expertise in private equity and cross-border M&A shaped your practice?
Right, that's a good question. When you start practicing transactional law, especially private equity transaction, you really realize the uh, the wealth of entrepreneurial spirit that's there in India. So there are a lot of foreign investors that want to invest into India. And similarly, Indian businesses have started doing very well in the last couple of years. So a lot of Indian businesses have enough capital to expand internationally. Now, as a corporate lawyer, having the opportunity to structure transactions and help these individuals, those who are trying to invest into Indian businesses and those who are trying to take their Indian businesses globally, take it global, that really makes you feel like you're an agent for change and you're an agent for growth, right? So, in terms of my practice, having the opportunity to help investors invest in Indian businesses, Indian startups, Indian corporations, structure those transactions to make sure that they're legally compliant, and also help Indian businesses with international aspirations grow, structure their overseas investments, that has really made me feel like my practice is one that is acting like a catalyst for the Indian economy, right? It's acting like a catalyst for growth for the Indian economy. And it makes me feel that, I'm playing my small part in helping the country and its entrepreneurs, its businessmen fulfill their aspirations. Having practiced in this field for more than 10 years, I can safely say now that our regulations, our laws are some of the best in the world when it comes to ease of doing business. So, to answer the question of how it has informed my practice, how it has changed my practice, it is the sum and substance of my practice. It gives me a lot of sense of satisfaction that I'm helping the economy grow in my own little way. And it has given me a new perspective that compared to everywhere else in the world, Indian laws and Indian regulations, when it comes to cross border investments, is actually very good, very well regulated, and very well defined.
So let's continue conversation. How do you balance legal structuring with compliance when advising on foreign investments in India?
Right. So, compliance informs the structure, right? The first and foremost goal is to ensure that, whatever is proposed to be achieved is legally compliant. So, compliance enforces what the structure should be. Uh, you know, when we do this on a daily basis, we already know what the contours of our compliance module are. We know what laws have to be necessarily complied with. We know what instruments can be issued. We know what structures work. And without getting in, becoming too technical, we try to ensure that our client also understands that there are these certain predefined routes by which they can achieve their objective, right? Uh, to answer your question, the objective always is first and foremost to ensure complete legal compliance, not just from an immediate perspective, but also from a perspective of what the regulator might think of in the future. And that's why people come to us. Why do people go to a lawyer? People go to a lawyer to, get clarity and certainty that, okay, I'm doing this. Tell me the most legal way of doing this and make sure that I don't face any trouble in the future. I don't want any questions in the future. And that is how we structure our transactions. So compliance informs structure.
Good. So, Varun, what are the key considerations when structuring exits for private equity funds in India, uh, according to you?
Right. So there is an investment ecosystem, right? Now, private equity is what? Private equity is private money, right? Rich individuals like yourself, so many other people might be able to pool their money into a vehicle and might invest, or might have an intermediary that will help invest their money into businesses. It doesn't have to be a new business, it could be an established business. But basically, when I say private equity, literally what the word means is private money, right? It is just another source of capital. Just like how companies can access the capital markets for capital, they can go to their banks for debt. Similarly, they can go to private equity funds or individuals who are high net worth individuals for private money. Clear and simple. Now, anybody who invests money into a business, what does he want? He wants that my money is safe. He wants that the business is run perfectly. There is no fraud, no embezzlement. The business does very well. He wants to ensure that his money at the end of the day gets him a return and he's able to take home more money than he came in with. Simple. That's what private equity is, right? When you structure a private equity transaction, that's all you do. You just, depending on who you're representing. So if you're representing the investor, you're just ensuring that his money is safe and that he gets a return on his money. And you do that by way of contractual obligations on the target. Target is the company in which the money is being invested. Now, suppose you were the lawyer for the target, right? The target's opportunity, the target's job, their worry really is, okay, I'm receiving this money from someone else. I want operational freedom. It shouldn't be that, Amir has given me 100 crores and now Amir is controlling everything that I do on a day-to-day business. He's sitting in my shareholders meetings. He's sitting in my board meetings. He's saying that, no, don't do this, do that, do that. I don't want that. I want to run my business. And I just want the investor, Amir, to just invest his money and be assured that his money is safe and that he will get a return, right? So that is what you are looking for when you are representing a investee company, right? You're ensuring operational freedom. You're ensuring that, there aren't too many onerous burdens on the company to repay the money, right? Unreasonable clauses in terms of sharing information or unreasonable representations and warranties about how the business is running. That happens. But if I were to represent you, say, Amir, the investor, I'm looking at ensuring that the business is run flawlessly. I'm looking to ensure that the owners of the business don't run away, right? They shouldn't exit the business. I'm ensuring that they don't start another business which is competing to this business, right? Taking my money, right? Or your money. I'm ensuring that I have enough insight into how the company is being run so that I can embed myself in crucial decision making. I'm ensuring that you have certain veto rights to ensure that you don't say, so that you can say yes or no to certain crucial items which impact the business. So these are some of the objectives, both from the target side and the investor side, that I, as a lawyer, am evaluating. And I'm ensuring that every party involved in this gets what they want and the deal doesn't break. That the money is invested, the business grows, and everyone is happy. I ensure that by way of contractual, negotiations, by way of crafting contracts which fit the purpose. And that is called structuring. That is what structuring of the deal is. How can we make the investor, Amir, happy by putting his money so that he's comfortable, he's feeling safe, he's feeling secure? And how can I make the business owner happy who's received the money from Amir, that he is comfortable, he's running the business as per his own terms? That is the job of a lawyer. Bringing these two parties together, structuring the transaction, and capturing all of this into writing so that tomorrow there is no chaos, there is no confusion, there is no dispute. So
Beautifully,
that's what I
you
do with the structure.
summarized everything and good. So, Varun, can you share an experience where your negotiation skills were tested in a high stakes deal?
Right? So many instances, right? Uh, One that recently comes to mind. Uh, okay, so this was an acquisition which we were doing on behalf of our clients, right? Our clients were involved in the media content creation related space, right? So they run a platform which creates digital twins and runs a metaverse and all of those things, right? So they wanted to acquire this business which was in the field of religious content, right? What that meant was that basically they had live video recordings of aartis being taken place in Tirupati or in Vaishno Devi and all these major religious sites. And it experienced a person who their platform allowed a person to experience these religious events live. So they could wear a headset and it would be like you're experiencing the Aarti at Vaishno Devi or the Aarti at Tirupati. So that was their product offering, right? And my client wanted to acquire this business. Term sheet was signed, valuation was agreed upon. The time came for the share purchase agreement to be signed, right? Now, the first golden rule of negotiation is you have to get to a yes. You have to work with the other person to reach a solution. You cannot be adamant on your position. If you do that, the transaction will fall through. The idea is to be accommodative and be solution oriented. If you do those two things, right, and you are able to portray that to the other side, which says that, listen, I'm here to make the transaction work. I'm here to make the deal work. I'm here to help you. Let's try to find a solution that works for you. Let's see what is hurting you, what is giving you discomfort, right? Let us try to address it. If we can address it, we'll address it. If we cannot address it, either legally or commercially, then let's be friends, shake hands, and call it a day and say that it cannot be done because this is just not viable for us. It really helps when you are negotiating to adopt this mindset. The mindset is that you shouldn't be adversarial, you shouldn't be in a conflict. We keep understanding the lawyers' jobs. A lot of media tells us that a lawyer's job is to be adversarial, is to be conflicting, it's to put your clients' objectives and needs first and defend those needs. No, that is wrong. A transactional lawyer's job is to understand the counterparty's needs, the counterparty's fears, their anxiety, and find a solution which works for both parties so that he's able to bring both parties together and close the transaction. That is the objective, right? So that is what helps in negotiating also. In whenever I'm negotiating a contract, I always first start with trying to understand what the other party's concern is. I will first ask the question, let me know your concern. Let me see if I can address that concern. Let me be there for you. And if that, position is something that I can provide, I give it. And if I'm not able to provide, I say, I'm sorry, thank you. This is the sticking point for us. We will not be able to go forward with it. And it always helps that, your client is clear on what he wants and he doesn't want. So it's easier for you to negotiate because then you can say, right, this is a no-go for my client. This is a red flag for my client. I cannot proceed. I cannot say yes to this. So let's part as friends and let's hope to do business again together another day. That's negotiation, in my
Wow.
humble opinion.
I just want to share this. I was having with conversation with a M&A lawyer. He shared one of his tips. What he does
Right.
after sitting with a lawyer, doing an ice-breaking activity with the
Yeah,
opposite team.
of course.
So
It's,
he's
it's
into
it's very
games.
important, obviously, to be liked on the table, right? If you're friends with the opposing counsel, it really helps. In this particular deal that I spoke about, it got very contentious. They were sticking on a few points, and they said, no, we want to be involved in the business. We don't want an all out acquisition. We want to still be involved. This is our livelihood. And so it just involved me having a few conversations with my client and saying that, listen, yeah, these guys derive their livelihood from this. And even though the business can run without them, can we find a way that they can be, retained as employees or in some capacity on the management front for a few years? This is the cost outlay for that. And if something can be arranged, let's do it. It'll just make our job easier in acquiring the company. It'll give it some continuity also. So things like that. It really helps. And these things only come out if you are liked by the other person's counsel. If he doesn't like you and if he doesn't, trust you, and if he's not willing to speak to you because you've become too hostile to begin with, why will he tell you his client's problems? Why will he be honest with you and tell you this is what he really wants? He'll stick to a particular clause and say, no, this language is not right. I don't like this language. This is unacceptable. That's not getting anyone anywhere. So, in my experience, negotiation begins with being open minded, being solution oriented, being friendly, being courteous, and understanding the other person's problems first and trying to address them.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. It's all about bringing human element,
Right.
human
Absolutely
touch.
correct. True.
So
Very
these are
true.
my coffee conversation speakers sharing. Like one of shared ke bhai, he has to wear six a thinking hats from the
Yeah.
Edward de Bono book. Ke bhai, we have to play so many different hats while sitting in a negotiation
The
table. And
negotiation. True. True.
yeah, so lawyers have become management experts also.
Yeah. Yeah. True. You have to. I mean, because the guy who's sitting in front of you, right, the lawyer, he's representing a business, right? In that
Yeah.
business, everyone has got a stake and everyone's got an agenda. The CFO will have his own concerns. The finance department will have its own concerns. The marketing department is worried about certain other things. Employees are worried about the acquisition. So many things, right? So you need to consider a lot of factors. And like you very rightly said, never forget the human element, right?
Wow. Okay. So now, Varun, what do you see as a future of real estate investment in India in light of current global economic trends?
So there are two parts to this question, right? The first is the real estate sector in India by itself, right? And the other part of it is how do investors, and by investors, I mean people who are new to this sector, how do they view it, right? So I'll answer both of them and I'll tell you how things are happening in India right now. The Indian real estate sector is doing amazingly well. The reason why it's doing amazingly well is because at both ends of the spectrum, whether it's low income group housing or it is high end luxury items, right? High end luxury products, both ends of the spectrum have a virtual unending demand. The reason for that is the Indian demographic has a mindset which makes every family or every earning member of the family feel that he needs to own his own home. We don't have a tenant mindset. Indian investors or Indian consumers have a ownership mindset, right? And that is across the spectrum. So somebody who's lower middle income to high net worth individuals, all of them believe in ownership more than tenancy right now in India. As a result, there is a lot of demand, and every real estate player in this country doesn't have to worry about demand. And that is why you will hear stories like this project was launched by XYZ builder and all the floors were sold within 3 days, 2 days, and 700, 800,000 crores were collected. This was a recent news by DLF as well, that they launched their apartments and overnight they were sold, right? So demand is not the problem. Now come to regulation. In India, real estate regulations are fairly defined. Now we have had the RERA Act for over 8 years, and the process by which you need to get your project registered and how you have to ensure compliance under the RERA Act is fairly defined. There used to be a little bit of chaos in the beginning years, but now it's okay. Most importantly, the RERA regulations are geared to ensure that builders don't take money away from a particular project and put it into another project. It is to just ensure that completion takes place. That's the whole comport of the law, right? To that effect, the compliance burden and compliance cost of a builder is not so much. He's able to comply with RERA and still make a handsome profit on every project, right? So compliance costs and burdens are not prohibitive. So compliance is easy to do. So demand is there, compliance is there. The problem that comes in real estate is financing. Banks don't finance real estate projects very easily. I mean, unfortunately, the real estate sector has had to rely on NBFCs and other sources of capital and financing, or they have had to rely on their own internal accruals. So builders who are already rich could build more, they could acquire land and build more. Financing is an issue, right? But otherwise, the sector is doing fantastically well. The Indian real estate sector is open to foreign investment as well. Unfortunately, in this country, foreign investors have always burned their hands in India. The biggest example of this is MR. If any one of you have gone to Dubai, every second building is MR or DAMAC, right? Beautiful buildings, beautiful infrastructure, completed on time. The MR group poured millions and millions into Indian real estate. And, for one reason or the other, due to construction delays, problems with their partner, problems with integrity in terms of fraud and siphoning off, projects got delayed and money was lost, right? So MR is one example. There is obviously a want for Indian real estate players to keep this market protected to themselves. Why wouldn't they? It's a market of 1 billion people willing to buy a house, or those who have some money willing to buy a commercial property, which is a captive market. So they do not necessarily want or need foreign investment to come in and take this market. But that being said, there is a lot of interest for foreign investors. Japanese investors, Russian investors, UK investors, US builders, all of them want to come and participate in the Indian real estate market. They suffer on two fronts. One, they suffer because their local partner who they partner with lacks in corporate governance or integrity, and they don't have control over the project, so money flows out, projects are not delivered. And secondly, they lack the tools and the skills to navigate the Indian regulatory environment. So the licensing environment, the approvals environment requires a little bit of finesse, a little bit of understanding of the local requirements that they are not able to navigate. And so in that sense, foreign players have not been able to make a mark in Indian real estate. But Indian real estate by itself is doing fantastically well, and it is going to continue to do fantastically well. I don't consider these temporary dips that happened during COVID and immediately after COVID, prices shot up because people realize they love houses, they need a personal space, and the dip that's happened now. So the market has corrected itself and it's gone down right now. All of these are just temporary fluctuations in an otherwise upward moving graph.
Okay. Let's go to next question. What has been your most challenging deal or transaction in infrastructure?
So I'll tell you, I can't say that any one particular deal has been challenging. All real estate transactions are challenging for two reasons. One is, what are you buying? Like, suppose you do an acquisition in a real estate space. What are you buying? You're basically buying a company which owns some land, or you're buying the land directly, right? That's what you're doing. In India, you can never be 100% sure that the land that you're acquiring or the company that you're acquiring, which owns the land, is 100% safe. Why? Because land records are not digitized.
Yeah.
I don't have any way of finding out whether there is any pending stay from any court of law against this land. I can do a search, I can try to find out, but I cannot be 100% sure. Right now, of course, there is legal technology which allows you to do a diligence and see what cases are pending, but it's still a problem. I don't know if there's a stay against that land, right? If it has not been recorded in the revenue records, I don't know if there is a stay. I don't know. I cannot be 100% sure if there is an encumbrance on the land by any banking institution, right? If the bank has not registered a charge in the revenue records and has not registered a charge, made the company registered a charge in MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, I don't know. Many times non-banking financial institutions lend money. They take away the original property papers and there's no charge registered. We don't know, right? So I don't know if there is a stay by court. I don't know if there is a charge by any financial institution. I don't know what is the real situation of the land. Is there a farmer squatting on the land? Is there illegal occupation of the land? You don't know. Many times these deals are done in boardrooms, but no lawyer has gone to the actual site and seen the land. Many times it has happened where land acquisition deals have happened and you have gone to the site and you have realized that the land possession is only not there. Possession is with the farmer, and the farmer is not willing to give up the possession. It's very difficult to displace a farmer. Then you don't know whether there are any other departmental issues or problems that are against this land because of which it becomes unlicensable, right? And you don't know if there is any, and this has become a new issue, you don't know whether any government enforcement agency like ED or CBI has attached the land. Okay? So now I am a lawyer for Mr. Amir, and Amir says, Varun, 100 crores are ready. I want to buy this company. This company has 20 acres of beautiful land in central Delhi. Acquire it for me. But make sure the deal goes through, no problems later. I said, okay, sir. Now I go to look at the land, right? I start looking at the documents of the land. I don't have any one central database that tells me that what are the problems with this land. I have to check with government departments. I have to check with ED, CBI whether this land is not enforced. I have to check with local agents so that I have my ear to the ground to find out what's problem with the land. I have to check whether possession is there. I have to check whether title is clear. I have to check whether there's no charge or encumbrance on the land. It is very mind numbing to then tell you, Mr. Amir, this land is absolutely perfect. Please transfer the money. It's very difficult for any lawyer, but yet we do it, right? So every real estate transaction I have done, this has been the challenge. Oh, and of course, there could be, if it's a company, there could be a legacy issue, there could be a tax issue. There's a pending tax demand against the company, and the tax department has the right to attach the land. I cannot give an all clear ever. Till date, when I'm doing a land acquisition transaction, I'm always 1% scared that there is something I have missed. Just cannot be sure, right? But things are changing. Things are changing. Andhra Pradesh is the first state to have digitized land records. Haryana also has digitized their Jamabandis, all the land records. So you get a good sense of what it is. Some revenue departments are very helpful. Like in Haryana, the Tehsildar will sit with you, will explain the issue with the land, whatever. And rest diligence of the company you are able to do now with the help of technology. You have search tools which tell you what litigation is against the company if there's any problem. And you're able to get a lot of information from the department. So you're able to do it. It's possible to do it. It's a lot better now. Earlier, land transaction used to happen only on trust and on name. Now, at least you have tools and technologies to be 100% sure. So every
Till one
transaction is
percent.
difficult.
Till one
Every
percent.
transaction is difficult. Yeah.
1% has to be left for.
Yeah, 1% always to chance. You never know. Something, anything can come up. Yeah.
So good. No, India is adopting technology
Yeah.
for updating land records. That is very beautiful. Okay, states are updating, digitizing. So good. So now let's go to this one interesting question. How has your leadership evolved uh, right from your early days to today?
Right. So I'm a first generation lawyer, right? I have come up through the ranks. So I was once an intern in this very firm where I'm a partner today, right? At Luthra and Luthra. I remember back in 2009, I used to come on my Activa scooter to this office, and I used to be an intern here. And I have also spent nights, late nights in office, and I've worked with difficult partners and difficult people. And then slowly, with the help of seniors and some learning, guidance, a lot of support from a lot of people in the profession, I became a partner at Luthra. But during this entire process, now when I work with juniors, when I lead them, I empathize with their journey because I have myself done them. If somebody wants to, somebody is looking to leave early from office, they are saying that, oh, sir, I need to go today. I understand the need because I have myself been in the situation where I've gone to my seniors and said, I want to leave early today. I have a personal commitment and I want to go. And I understand that. So I realized being a kind and understanding leader is more important than being a competent one. This is a very sort of controversial statement to make, but honestly, if you are kind and understanding to a person's needs, they are more likely to give you 100% in your time of need than if you were to crack the whip on them and were to say that no, you have to get this done, or I will write you a bad report, or I will report you, or your promotion will be stalled, or whatever. That doesn't work in leadership. What works is you need to be kind and understanding to their needs first, right? And I have never, whenever I've done that, I have gotten it back 10 times in return, right? So there have been times when associates have taken leave. They said, sir, I need 4 days. My mother is unwell, or my sibling is unwell. I need to go. I'm like, go. Just family comes first. Your personal needs come first. Go ahead and do that. And in return, they have spent nights working on difficult transaction without even questioning it, because they know that we were there for them when they needed us, and similarly, they are there for us. That's rule number one. Rule number two is you cannot be a leader who uh, sits back and lets his associates do all the work. No, you have to be working there with them. They have to see you lead from the front. They have to see you work harder than them. Otherwise, they will not respect you. They will think that अरे ये तो काम देके चला जाता है, he's just living the good life. He just gives us the work and he goes home at 6 o'clock. Cannot be. They have to see you worried. They have to see you trying to complete the work. And when they see you work hard, they themselves feel ashamed that sir is sitting and working. How can I leave? Right? How can I not help him? Right? So that is second. You have to lead from the front. Third most important thing is you have to make them feel that you're in it together. You're in the same boat. It's sink or swim together, right? Failure or success together. So that means that you have to make them feel that they have ownership over their work. It is their work. Right? You have to make them feel that if tomorrow this goes well, all of us win. If it loses, all of us lose, right? So that should be there. No one should feel though I'm stuck with this work, or he's given it to me and nobody else is working. That shouldn't be the case. You have to feel that one for all and all for one. If you do that, that feeling is there. I swear it is sometimes the most beautiful thing you'll ever experience when your team comes to you for you, and then all boundaries fall away. Then you can be candid in front of your team. There have been so many times when my associates have come to me and said, sir, you're wrong. This is not the law. This is the law. This is the interpretation. This is the judgment. You have got it completely wrong. And I'm so happy that they are able to come to me and there are no boundaries. I say that. I said, that's good. I think you're right. Let's work on it together. Let's make it, I also continue to learn. I have seen leaders who create such a boundary between their associates and themselves, Associates are scared of coming to them and telling them that, you're wrong or that this is not the right way to go. Why would you, as a leader, deprive yourself of that? Even if the associate is saying the most stupid thing on earth, that is his perspective today. At the age of 22, 23, 24, this is their perspective today. Tomorrow, that perspective will grow and change, and he will become an asset to you at 35, and he'll give you a great perspective, and he will be confident to share it with you because you allowed him to share it with you. He feels ownership. He feels that I'm in the same boat. It's my job to speak. There have been so many instances where my associates have come in, stopped a transaction at a crucial point where I thought everything was okay and said, "Sir, I think you need to look at this. This is going wrong." And I looked at it and yes, indeed, it was. So I guess that's the fourth point, creating that atmosphere of communication, right? So if you do these, lead from the front, tell them that, to take ownership because you're in the same boat, keep an open channel of communication, and, do all of this and be sympathetic towards them. I think people will reward you and your team will be very, very good.
Beautiful. So, Varun,
Right.
how did your academic background at NALSAR and Oxford help you in your professional decision making?
Right. So, the privilege to attend a good university is always good. Good universities help you get good opportunities in terms of your first job. But now, when I look back, uh, I feel what these institutions taught me was more than academics, right? What these institutions gave me was the ability to manage time, right? At both at Oxford and at NALSAR, at all good institutions, whether it's IITs or IIMs, they have so much going on within the student community. There are so many activities going on. There is so much for a student to do in a safe and secure environment where the student doesn't have to worry about accommodation and he doesn't have to worry about food and all of that. There is just so much of activity going on that it teaches uh, any student there to manage their time, to focus on what they really want, and to sort of just make the most of those opportunities that are given to them. So that is what a good institution does to you. The second thing what a good institution does to you is it puts you in touch with good similar people who are focused and who are driven, right? So that helps you in your professional network. Today, the work that comes to me, it comes from my batchmates, it comes from the people I met at college, and I met them at a relaxed time. And, we were relaxed at that time. We could have lunch together, we could have breakfast together. Nobody was rushed or hurried. And so we became friends, right? And if you become friends, now today my batchmates are in good positions in good companies. Right? They have also worked hard in their life. They are also senior people now in good organizations. Now, when the time comes to call a lawyer or when the time comes to help them with a problem, they obviously want to rely on their own friends because they can trust. They so many times my batchmates are now general counsels of big Fortune 500 companies. They call me up and they say, Varun, usually we don't go to Luthra for these works. We have a different firm. Our company works with different firm. All of that is fine. But you tell me what you think about this situation. So I tell them my honest view. I said, listen, yeah, forget about whatever this is. I think this is how you'll get out of this problem. You need to send this notice. You need to take this action and all. You take a so eventually when the opportunity comes, they give you work also. But it starts with first being friends. So these institutions help you become friends with people who will one day be in a position to work with you, to give you work, to collaborate with you. That's the benefit of these institutions. Today, a lot of my work comes from people who have been a part of my institutions, whether it's at Oxford or it has been at NALSA, right? They are in good positions in their companies. And especially at Oxford now, a lot of these people are in different parts of the world, right? Somebody works in Switzerland, somebody works in London, and also they feel very comfortable calling their friend and their batchmate on the phone and saying, "What do you think about this?" And that's how any practice works. That's how any business works. Even in your field, right? When you say hello to a few people, when you network and you connect with them, and there is a connect, only then can you start talking business, right? First, you have to, make a connect with those people. So these institutions help you make that connect.
Very true. Very true. Okay. Now, my last two questions. How does being featured in Forbes Legal India Power List added value to your career, Varun?
So, you know, many times as a lawyer, before your see, your existing clients know that you are a hardworking, sincere professional. They know. But sometimes your future clients don't know who you are, right? And they don't know what you do. So sometimes an award like this, or a felicitation by a reputed body, or a ranking in a credible publication like Chambers and Partners, or Legal 500, all of these tells the world that you are a credible professional, and that you are a hardworking professional, and that you are someone who has serviced clients well in the past, and so you may be considered. That is the only purpose of these awards or these rankings. In that sense, when a credible publication like Forbes, which does a lot of research into your background and asks you a lot of questions about what work you have done before they put you on a list, it gives a little bit of their credibility into your name. So then people say, okay, he's recognized by a credible publication like Forbes, he must be a good lawyer. So for those who already know you, you don't need to do anything. But for those who don't know you, uh, awards like these really help, right? And that's what Forbes has done for me.
Very true. And many more awards in the coming years. The team coffee wishes for you. Okay, my last question. How has technology helped you and which legal tech tool has impacted your work?
All right. Very good question, and a area that I'm very passionate about, right? I am a lawyer who believes in smart work. I don't believe in just hard work, right? When I was qualifying into the profession, Manu Patra had just come in as a legal research engine, right? Before that, a lawyer would look at a manual for case law, he would read a commentary, he would read the Bare Act, he would use primary sources of law to clean his opinion, right? He would do that. Manu Patra shaved that time off, right? It really allowed you to find the relevant case law to see that they were, what case law is relevant and whether it still holds good. So I was very fascinated with this legal technology that had come about. And that made me realize one thing. Every lawyer should accept the fact that any tool that helps you perform more efficiently, saves your time, helps you perform more accurately, right? And saves you the burden of hard labor, why not adopt it?
Hmm.
Let me correct myself here. I am not talking about technology replacing people. No. I am talking about technology being a tool in helping an already smart individual perform even better. Right? To that extent, technology really excites me, and I am a fervent uh, proponent of trying to adopt technology in all legal processes. The reason is because I have done the hard work and the grunt work, right? So when I used to do diligences, I have physically gone through a lot of hundreds and thousands of documents, culled out data, and put it in a readable manner, in a easy referenceable way to my clients. I have done that work. Today, if AI can help me read 10,000 documents and answer my questions within 5-10 minutes, why wouldn't I want to save that burden for any individual, right? I believe that that is the way of the future, and it should. In presently, we have a scattering of tools. We don't have one tool which is an omnibus tool that helps a transactional lawyer with their work. So we have tools like, of course, Litera, uh, which is a good tool that is being used. But we also have tools like uh, document formatting tools, right? Which look at an agreement, make sure all the terms that are to be capitalized are capitalized, everything is numbered and formatted properly. We have legal research tools, which are online platforms that help you legal. So you have drafting tools, you have legal research tools, you have tools which are in the field of formatting and ensuring that the document is within a house format. You have tools that make annotations and note taking easy, like liquid text. And you have generally have tools that allow you to compare documents and process documents faster, right? So you have all of these variety of tools, right? And a smart lawyer knows which tool, like a good carpenter knows which tool to use. A smart lawyer knows which tool to use to ease his burden and produce faster work. This also has a cost impact. So the lesser time a lawyer spends on a particular task, the lesser he will have to charge for it. There will be lesser cost. So that brings down legal costs also. So that's why also I am in favor of legal technology, right? Presently, all the tools that I mentioned earlier are tools which my team uses and my firm also uses. Going forward, I see a huge adoption of AI technology, generative AI particularly, for legal research. I also foresee the use of AI for document interaction. So I will be able to upload 10,000 documents and then I will be able to chat with those documents to say, tell me the relevant clause for this, summarize these three documents, put this information in the form of a table, do a comparative analysis between all of this. I will be able to do all of those things on AI and save a significant amount of time. This will ensure that my junior associates are then spending time in proper lawyering. That means they are not just data entry. They are not doing just data entry. They are not just reading documents. They will be lawyers, which means they will advise on legal implications of an act being taken. They will advise on legal strategy. They will advise on legal structuring. They will advise on interplay between legal and commercial decisions, right? They will become more cerebral in their thinking. They will not be just bots who are taking a loan agreement and entering the clauses of the loan agreement into a readable format so that the client can have a more condensed version of that document. No, they will move towards becoming strategic thinkers, which is what I feel AI technology will do for transactional lawyers and all lawyers in general, right? So this work of reading documents and doing data entry and creating diligence reports, all of that will go away and fall away and for the better. Right? So I see that as the future.
Yeah, beautiful. You summarized it. AI is enabling for strategic thinking.
Right.
All
AI
the
is enabling strategic thinking. Right.
Yes. How, see, now there are a lot of courses also coming up on prompt engineering. So it's all
Right.
about strategic thinking, how you're giving those commands. See,
Right.
AI
Right.
is a machine. If you tell
Right.
him, "Bhai, draft me an email without
Right.
any this call to action or specific
Right.
steps, so he will define uh, कि 10 स्टैंड का ईमेल बना के दे देगा बट इफ यू आर
Right.
गिविंग प्रॉपरली कि भाई किस तरह से ये रहता है कि डिफाइनिंग कि
In
भाई
fact, in fact, Amir,
ये टर्म्स एवरीथिंग आएगा सो यू आर गेटिंग मोर वेल
yeah,
रिसर्च सॉरी वेल डिफाइंड
yeah,
email which will
yeah.
lead to interaction with your client or whatever end purpose is there.
Absolutely correct. And now, software is even making those prompts easier. So they are giving you suggestive prompts. They are
Yeah,
saying, if you want this, why don't you give this prompt? This prompt will interact the best, and it will give you the best potential output.
yeah,
So it will
perplexity is
become,
there.
yeah, yeah. So it will become more predictive, and I'm excited for this space, right? And
There is
all law firms will have to pivot to adopt this technology. It is inevitable.
definite. I'm just inviting you to be a panel discussion on AI in legal.
Of
Because
course.
your insights and your research and everything has I just during my conversation I put on my six thinking habits, sorry, hats, six
Yeah.
thinking hats,
Yeah.
uh, for the flow, what next, and how a coffee speaker becomes an integral part of our community. So we'll plan out. Then wanted to share for the audience also. Do watch this episode where we had with AI visionary. His name is Mike Todasco, where he shared many insights on how he was earlier in PayPal in the innovation. Then
Right.
he shifted to being an AI visionary in consulting. He has got over 100 patents. And how is he using AI for himself, for his clients? He's using AI for Varun for अपना ये uh, for health diagnostics, putting his health reports, everything, and health charts के किस तरह से giving them prompts and everything. He says कि भाई doctors don't give that much time in US, and we just go there. They're just looking at कि भाई ये patient आया, 20 minutes, done. So he's
Right.
putting in all his vital stats and keeping himself healthy using AI. That was one of the things. That there are many more things he had shared. So that's during warm up call. I told you about this. This is for the audience out there also. So this person, how he migrated and adopted AI in every aspects. So let's continue the conversation and go to the next round. Understanding Varun as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years, Varun.
Right. Um, so my, I'm actually the son of an Indian naval officer. My dad was in the armed forces, so nothing to do with the law. I grew up being transferred from one city to another. My dad was in the Indian Navy, so I grew up a little bit in Bombay, a little bit in Cochin, right? And towards the later part of my schooling, I came to Delhi. In Delhi, I was lucky to study in a good school called Sanskriti School, from where I found out that there is this common law admission test that you can give when you can go to law school. Um, I used to always be fascinated with public speaking, so that was something that I used to participate in school as well. So I went to the school called Sanskriti. There I was very fortunate to be head boy. I gave the CLAT exam. I got admission into NALSAR University. There I was lucky to be the editor of the Student Law Review. Then I graduated in the top half of my class, top 10%. I got a job with Amarchand Mangaldas, which was a law firm, top law firm in the country. There I learned private equity, project finance, general corporate work. I rotated into different practice areas. I worked on some important transactions. I really learned the tools that are required to be an effective transaction lawyer there. Thereafter, I transferred within Amarchand to Delhi. At that time, the firm had split. So I came to Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas, where I met my current mentor and boss, Mr. Harry Chawla. With him in 2015, the end of 2015, beginning of 2016, he wanted to start his own practice. So I, left Amarchand with him to help him start his own law firm called Atlas Law Partners. And for the next 8 years, we built that practice at Atlas Law Partners, which was a fantastic firm. It was beautifully run and it was quite a profitable firm. And a lot of learning on the business side of law I did at that firm, right? So I really understood about what it means to run a law firm. After that, this particular practice, Mr. Chawla was called to head Luthra and Luthra. See, he was asked to become the managing partner of Luthra and Luthra for various reasons. He was uh, asked to helm this practice at Luthra and Luthra and take it to new heights. So Atlas Law Partners, that practice merged with Luthra and Luthra. And at Luthra and Luthra, I became one of the youngest partners of the firm. And here I continue to work on technology matters, M&A, private equity. And I continue to help build this firm's practice and act as an important bridge between the young partnership of the firm and the senior management. And, I've had the opportunity to really expand my thoughts into certain emerging areas of tokenization, and cryptocurrency regulation as well. I've started advising on those matters as well, and now on AI regulation as well. I've had the opportunity to speak and become a thought leader on how the AI will be regulated, not just in the legal field, but generally. Uh, yeah, and I continue to be a partner with Luthra and Luthra and work with some of the best companies in the country.
Okay. So, Varun, if you could go back to Oxford for a day, what would be the first thing you did do over there?
If I were to go back to Oxford for a day, I actually have gone back to Oxford quite a few times since I graduated. um, I would go back to my college and I would go to the chapel of my college. There is a little beautiful church in my college. I would go there. I would sit there when I was in Oxford for some peace and quiet and for some reflective thinking. So I would go back and do that. I actually have gone back to that chapel after I graduated with my wife, who's from Cambridge. So I went her, I showed her my chapel, and I have actually re-proposed to her. I've re-proposed to her in that chapel. So I have that is the place I would go back to the most.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm also from what do you say, schooling from Christchurch, and we're having this centennial year
Wow.
from Jan 29th, and there is a services there. So I'll be visiting the chapel
Oh,
church.
fantastic. Okay, okay. I didn't know you were from Christchurch. Great. Fantastic college. Good, good, good.
Yeah. So, okay.
Okay.
Varun, how do you unwind after a particularly complex legal transaction?
Just coming home, I have been very blessed and very fortunate. My wife, every time I come home from a long and tired day, she's always there to greet me, and she keeps our home very warm and very welcoming. So when I come back, when I'm home with her, I'm automatically de-stressing, right? So I'm not worried about anything. And the way I unwind is we just talk. I tell her about my day. She tells me about hers. And we usually have dinner together and we watch something. So that is our wind down process, which is, I'm sure, the same in most households. The guy comes home and, they are able to talk about the day and unwind. And that's what I do. And I love doing that. I just love coming back home and being with family. That helps me unwind.
Yeah. So, what's a hidden talent or hobby that people might not know about Varun?
My hidden talent is that I am very good at mimicry. So I'm very, but not mimicry of famous people. I'm very good at mimicking my seniors in office. So I can mimic my senior partners and some of my clients very well. But then when I mimic them, they are inside jokes. So if I were to do it right now, you would not understand because I can mimic certain clients and mimic certain partners and do that. That's my hidden talent.
That is another of the
Yeah.
camera record to do this because we
But
can't.
I have such fun, loving, and supportive seniors. I have actually done their mimicry in front of them.
Oh,
They are very see, this is the sign of a mature, secure person, that their
mm,
junior can make fun of them and do mimicry in front of them, and they were laughing with me. So that is, I've been very blessed to have very secure, very good, kind-hearted, confident seniors in my life.
touch wood, touch wood. So, Varun, what's your idea of a perfect weekend with family, friends?
Right. A perfect weekend is time at home, watching a good movie, having a good meal, and just not doing any work, not having any obligation, not having to go anywhere. So I'm a homebody. So just maybe watching a good movie on Netflix, ordering in some food, spending time with family. That's, I think, the best weekend ever.
Okay. Varun, if you had to choose one book or movie to represent your professional journey, what would it be and why?
This is a movie I watched very recently, and it's a book which was made into a movie, and I recommend everyone should see it. It's got nothing to do with the law, but it's got a lot to do about life. And the same tools that are shown in that movie are sometimes what you need in life, right? It is called The Art of Racing in the Rain. Okay, it's a movie. It's available on Hotstar also. I recommend everyone should see it. Watch that movie. The entire story is told from the perspective of a dog, right? But the protagonist in that movie goes through a lot of hardships, and how he maintains his dignity, how he maintains his dream throughout all of that is the movie. I really recommend that anyone who's listening to that, please watch that movie. It's on Hotstar, it's for free. And if you watch it, I'm sure you will take away something from it.
Beautiful. Okay, Varun. Right now you're sitting in a sorry,
Grindelwald.
small town of Switzerland.
Yeah.
How did you come across this place? And tell us something about your research into
So I
coming across
am
this
very
place.
bad. I am very bad at planning holidays. I'm very bad. I don't have the patience. I don't have the knowledge. I don't know how to operate any of these websites like Agoda, Booking.com, nothing. I don't have any skills in booking or planning a holiday. I have just been very, very blessed in my life to have my wife. She does everything. Even for a surprise holiday for herself, she'll do the planning. So I have no knowledge. No knowledge. I'll be very honest, Amit. I don't know where I'm going tomorrow. I don't know. Right? My wife will just tell me, sit in this bus, sit in this train, and go. I have just been very lucky. She plans everything. I'm like a school child. I'm a school kid who's been taken around. I don't know any knowledge. So she's only brought us here, and I'm very grateful. And I
Yeah.
believe she enjoys it also. She tells me that she enjoys planning, so I also let her do it. But she's planning everything.
Okay. Uh, so one little curious question. Uh,
Right.
what are your wife's views on you?
My wife's views on me, I hope they are positive. She's still with me, she's still with me and she's still my partner. So I'm sure she has got positive views only. Otherwise, knowing her, if she was not happy with me, she would leave. So she is there. But I would say this much that it's not easy being the wife of a lawyer because
Hmm.
things are very unpredictable. You can get work at any time. You have to be available most of the time. So she has been very patient with me. There have been so many times when I've had to cancel plans because emergencies have come up and you've had to go. And she's had to be alone. So those things, she's been very patient and very understanding. Uh,
Wow.
I'm very lucky like that.
So for next 5 years, what plans do you have, personal and professional?
Professionally, the plan is to build Luthra. So the firm has witnessed a few systemic shocks after the death of the founding partner, Mr. Rajiv Luthra,
Hmm.
and the death of his nephew Advait Luthra. So there has been a few systemic shocks in the firm. My objective is to help Mr. Chawla build this firm back to number one, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing for the foreseeable future, right? And personally, the goal is to just be there for family and be a good husband, a good son, a good brother, as much as I can be available for them, help them with their needs, help them wherever I can help them. That's the goal.
Beautiful. So describe Varun in one line. This is my last googly question.
uh, Always persevering. That's those two words I think describe me. Always trying.
Yeah. So let's go to the next round and have some fun, the rapid fire. Late
Right.
night drafting or early morning strategy sessions?
Early morning strategy sessions, no doubts.
Okay. Favorite city to work in? London, Delhi, Hyderabad.
London is good. I find myself more productive and more alert in London. I don't know whether it's because of the Delhi pollution or because that's my routine, because I'm there every day and London is a change, but I think I work better in London. I've done some good work in London.
Wow. Okay. One legal thinker you admire the most?
Mr. Harry Chawla, my managing partner.
I knew it, but
Yeah. No,
okay.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it because he's my boss. I have worked with him for now over 12 years. Almost about 11 years I have worked with him. I find him to be one of the most kindest human beings and one of the most innovative lawyers. So, learning how to find a solution and not say no and do it all patiently, that is something is I still don't know as well as he does. And let me remind you, he's not just a lawyer. Right? He has to manage accounts, he has to manage marketing, he has to. So he's not just a lawyer, he's an accountant, he's a marketer, He's HR also. He has to do interviews also. He does a lot of things. So in terms of being a complete lawyer, I think there's still a lot I have to learn from him. Even after 10 years, I've not figured out everyone. But in terms of legal thinking, innovative legal thinking, I have never come out of his office without an answer. That is
Nice.
something to be. Yeah.
Your go-to comfort food?
Chips.
Really? Can you repeat?
Chips. Any kind of chips, right? Yeah. Just snack form of food. Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly salt and vinegar chips.
Tea or coffee during a deal marathon?
Coffee.
Let's raise.
Though I don't recommend it to juniors. In fact, when they start drinking coffee, I tell them don't get into the habit of. I know the show is called Coffee Conversations, but I try to ask them to avoid any kind of caffeination, because then when you start coming to my age at around 35, you start feeling the effects of too much coffee late at night. Then you can't work without it.
I know, I know. Okay. My last question, the rapid fire. Your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue, but I am also partial to green nowadays. That's why I'm wearing this.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah.
So you did well, and you'll get this book autograph and sent to your uh, address as a Christmas gift.
Thank
So,
thank
friends,
you.
it was a lovely conversation. Going back, spending a day in Oxford, he re-proposed to his wife in that chapel thing. That is very so. This is what coffee conversation does: bring back old memories, and his expertise in private equity, infrastructure, then अपना ये real estate, foreign investments. So any companies who are looking for to associate or give work, Varun is a person. His details will be there in the captions. So connect with him, and all these young legal professionals who want to make it a niche into private equity, foreign investments, M&A. This is the episode where he has explained in detail the nuances. And there are over 300 plus episodes where each coffee speaker has gone through the professional personal journey, and there are tips where you can relate, implement in your life, and you will have a better, more prosperous future for 2025, which we all wish. And if you want to be featured like Varun, you can visit our social media, the Emerging India Forum website and handles on social media, and you would be invited by team to have coffee over coffee conversation. So thank you, and a prosperous new year. Take care.
Thank you so much, Amir, for your time and for this. This was fun.